Hey guys, I'm Sam, Chief Storyteller at How They Work, and we're so excited to be back after a short break. We missed you, we hope you missed us, because as always, our goal is to educate. So tap that like button, click that share button, and subscribe to the channel, because on today's episode, we learn how our mysterious rule makers, the legislature, actually works. So, in episode 3, we learned what the HOA is. How does it actually work? Well, think of the House as a giant, super powerful committee made up of 7 smaller committees that allows it to review and question government decisions and results, debate potential laws, amend existing ones, and really help govern the country. We're going to examine them in 3 parts: operations, matters and decisions, and committees. So let's get started. The way the House works depends on what it's working on. The process changes depending if it's working on a bill for a proposed law, government business, committee matters, or private member matters. Either way, the way it operates is very bureaucratic, with rules and protocols for everything. From all these rules are summed up in what's called the Standing Orders of the House, the Powers and Privileges Ordinance, and again, the Will of the King, the Constitution. In plain language, the Constitution gives the House the power to do things. The Standing Orders tell the House how to do things, and the Powers and Privileges Ordinance tells who can do what things, when, and how. Generally, the House meets or a sitting is held for the first time after a general election. And at that time, a speaker is elected. Once that's done, a deputy speaker is elected, also by majority vote. After the first meeting, though, the House meets between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. at every other meeting, with an hour break at 1 p.m., unless agreed upon otherwise. So when you see the live feed video cuts at 1 p.m., now you know why. For the House to meet, you need 8 members to be present, but not just any 8. 5 must be elected members, and the person presiding over the meeting is excluded. This is called a quorum, and without it, the House can't legally meet. The agenda for the House meeting is contained in the order papers, and this is the document that describes the things that will be discussed by the House at that meeting. The House is dissolved every 4 years from the date of the first meeting after a general election. Dissolve simply means that the House and its members all vacate their seats for new members to be elected or appointed. For example, the last election was on December 15, 2016, and the House first met on December 29, 2016. Thus, the House will be dissolved 4 years later, on December 29, 2020. And after an election, it will be reformed. So please, pay attention to what happens in the next few months, because it's very important. Matters brought to the House for discussion or debate are usually in the form of petitions, papers, or questions. Petitions can be presented by any member. Papers can be presented by cabinet members or the chair of a House committee. Questions are, well, questions, but they have detailed rules to obey. There's an entire section dedicated to it. Part 7 of the Standing Orders. You check it out. In making decisions, the Constitution requires the House to do this by voting, specifically by majority of votes of members present at the meeting, so majority vote. But there are a few conditions. Number 1, the Attorney General does not have a vote in the House. Number 2, a member with a financial or business interest in a decision doesn't have a vote relating to that decision in the House either. They have to leave the meeting when the vote is taking place. Number 3, The speaker, a person presiding over the meeting, has a casting vote. That means they can vote to break a tie only. Votes are either ayes, noes, or abstains. What does that mean? Well, when a vote is taken, all members yell out what their vote is, and then the speaker kind of decides which position had the most vocal support, aka which vote was louder, and that the results can be challenged by any member calling a division. When a division is yelled, the speaker has to retake the vote by having each member state their vote individually. For example, I, Samuel Dormius, Minister of How They Work, vote for everyone to watch How They Work on YouTube. First of all the committees are made up of existing House members. See the previous video if you don't know what that means. Link above. The House committee, the admin people, have 6 members, and their job is to oversee the upkeep of matters of the House. They print stuff and handle the administrative tasks through the House clerk and the h.o.a. admin office. The Standing Orders Committee, they have 6 members, and they are the gatekeepers of the standing orders. Yep, the rules that tell the House how to do things. The Privileges Committee have 5 members, and they are the prefects. They deal with everything about the powers and privileges of House members and any breaches of those powers or privileges. The Appropriations Committee, they are the budget people and have 6 members. And they're the people you ask permission to set aside money to buy stuff. The Expenditure Committee, the accountants, and they have 5 members. They monitor government expenses as they happen and compares it to the budget and make reports. A whole lot of reports. The Public Accounts Committee, the account reviewers members, they review and scrutinize the financial statements of government to see if there was value for what was actually spent. They're really powerful, and sometimes they can even ask whatever they want. The Administrative Committee, the detective, they have 5 members, and their job is to understand the changes that happen with government policies in every ministry. Whew, that was a lot. I think that was our longest episode to date. Forgive me, but it was a lot of information, and it's still a lot of information. Because really, full disclosure, all this has been a drop in the bucket when it comes to understanding how the House of Assembly actually works. Because truthfully, it's complicated. Really, really complicated. And smart men and women dedicate their lives to it. What I hope we've done is to give you some insight as to how it works on a basic level. And demystify it a little. And we hope in doing so, it's a little bit less confusing. Thanks for watching. And remember, stay informed.